Hello and welcome. It's time to hear what's on my mind on this episode of Trisha's 2 Cents Podcast. I'm your host, Trisha. I want to thank you all for listening to what I have to say. I do not take it lightly that you take the time out of your busy day and schedule to hear what's on this mind of mine. You can always reach out to me through email at trishas2cents@yahoo.com or through Instagram or Facebook. I welcome your comments or your questions. Do you remember kindergarten? I do. And I remember my teacher and my classroom very well. Because I grew up in a small town, most of the kids that were in my class were the same kids I graduated with. Kindergarten in the 70s was very different from kindergarten today. We only had half days, and I had the afternoon session. And that was probably because they knew that I was not a morning person, and I still ain't. We learned at a slower pace than they do now. In my opinion, children are pushed to grow up way too fast. They have plenty of time to be adults. And I often say, just about everything you need to be successful, you learned in kindergarten. And listening is one of those lessons. Oftentimes, we talk before we listen, and it causes much confusion. Let me give you an example of what me and my husband continuously try to work out. Let me set it up for you. My husband is watching television, and I approach him with an issue that I need his help with. And he is halfway listening to his TV show and halfway listening to me. Now, he is still focusing on what is happening on the TV, but he is still talking to me. What happens is he is not giving me his full attention, and we end up getting into an unnecessary disagreement because he isn't fully listening to what I am saying. But this isn't all on him, because sometimes I do the exact same thing. But instead of watching the TV, I am strolling on my phone, looking through Facebook, Instagram, or playing my favorite Candy Crush. But I'm trying to listen to him, but see what's happening on my phone too. We both realize that in order to fully communicate with each other, we must listen. Yeah, it sounds elementary, but with so many distractions around us, it's hard to do. But we must make a conscious effort to have successful marriages, successful friendships, and successful relationships. But why is it so hard to listen when others are trying to communicate with us? I don't believe we deliberately disregard people when we are supposed to be listening. Well, maybe some people. But overall, the times we live in require us to do so many tasks at one time. We are always in a rush to get through our day. Just think about it. All ads are geared towards getting things done in the quickest way possible. The quickest way to order our food, the quickest way to buy our food, or the quickest way to cook our food. We live in a microwave society. So, when we are supposedly focused on listening, we listen in the quickest way possible by getting another task done while listening. Do you find yourself rushing throughout the day? I know I do. Taking the time to listen requires practice and patience. Practice because we must get in the habit of fully paying attention when listening. And patience because practice takes patience. I have been practicing paying attention by setting my phone aside or muting the TV when I'm being spoken to acknowledge to the person speaking that yes, I am indeed listening, and they have my full attention. But as I said, it takes patience. Being patient with myself because habits are not easy to break. According to a 2010 study, it takes an average of 66 days to break a habit. Although, just like everything else, it can vary from one person to the next. And I want to treat others like I want to be treated. And I don't like it when I'm talking to someone and they are looking at their phone or reading other material, because it appears that they are not listening to what I have to say, and what I have to say doesn't seem important. But I'm going to get a side note here. I'm not talking about a person performing their work tasks while listening, because it's not always possible to stop working to talk. Because we have to work and talk at the same time, because in order to not get in trouble at work. So that's not what I'm talking about. But because I don't like it when it seems that someone is not listening when I'm talking or not paying attention, when it seems like they're not listening to me, I try to stop all distractions and listen when someone is talking to me. It is hard to engage in conversation when you don't feel heard. Listening is a part of engaging in conversation. In the Holy Bible, in James 1:19, it says everyone should be quick to listen and slow to speak. If we are quick to listen, we will find out the whole story before we give our opinion on a matter. Even when we disagree, we can understand what the other person is trying to say. But if we fail to listen in full, there is a possibility the person will feel disrespected. And if disrespected, there is a chance they will not listen to what we have to say. It's a give and take. Also, if we are talking while the person is talking, how can we hear what they are saying? It is nearly impossible. There is no way you can catch every word if your mouth is running while their mouth is running too. Have you ever been in a conversation with a person, but it was one-sided? They never listen to what you have to say because it is all about them. You ask them a question, but somehow they always turn it back around to them. They are not good listeners. When you are a good listener, you are actively engaging in the conversation. You show interest in what is being said, and you don't look for an opportunity to get out of the conversation. A good listener allows the person to just talk and hear them out. A good listener realizes that they may be the only outlet for someone. A good listener will try and look at it from the other person's point of view. Do you consider yourself a good listener? Or do you dismiss what the person is saying? We never know when we may need someone to listen to us. So if someone needs us to listen, let us be quick to listen and slow to speak. Thanks for listening to Trisha's 2 Cents. Join me on the next episode as I give life lessons through my experience, my growth, and always from my heart. Make sure you subscribe on Spotify, Apple or Google Podcasts, or your favorite listening platform.